Testing, testing. There we go. There we go. We are live. Okay. Today is going to be a fantastic day. You're learning something new, theoretically, unless you are already a master of Photoshop or GIMP. Otherwise, you are learning something new. So the first thing that I want you to do is to, as you should see my whole screen, see up here at the very top where it says File Wave Kiosk. I want you to click on that and click Install Software. And scroll down here till you see GIMP 2.10 app and click Install. Mine is already installed, so mine would uninstall it. So I want you to install that. Now, if you don't have access to this, then you just have to wait 5 to 10 minutes and then it will become accessible to you. The FileWave Kiosk is only accessible to about half of the students at a time. So if it's not accessible to you right now, it soon will be. All right, so as soon as possible, you install GIMP. Now that you've done that, you should also go ahead and install the files that I am putting on Canvas. So let me move this up out of the way. Let's see, the first middle school intro to digital art drawing assignment. So here's an example of something that I'm going to teach you how to do right now. So this guy is happily looking off to the left. You can see this came from a magazine. This is like professional skills. What you're going to learn today is something that happens in magazines, online. It's something you could use as marketable information. You could do this for money. You could do this just to have a cool Instagram account, whatever. So I'm going to teach you how to color block clothing and doodle on clothing. Another simple example is this one. You can see how her face is partly outlined in white. You could knock that out in maybe 25 seconds. What it does is it adds some contrast to the shadow side. It adds a pop. It makes it more artistic. So if you, let's say on brand, always be Brandon. If you in your pictures want to add a flair of the creative, then that's something you could do, is doodle on some of your images. And nowadays, you don't, to do something this simple, you don't even need Photoshop or GIMP. You could simply have an app on your phone. But you can't do as much with those phone apps or tablet apps as you can on a computer, just simply because of processing power and capabilities. So I'm going to open up. Before I do that, I want to show you the raw images that we have access to. I will let you pick whichever one you want. There is one of this girl listening to her headphones through a window. We have this cool guy wearing colored striped shirt. That might be easy to color block. That's an example. All right, this is a cool young lady who has a color block dress. That might be cool. Then we have these two guys who have like super bright clothing. The guy with a scarf, this guy with a mustard jacket, blue hat with the red band. That could be really cool to color block. And then lastly, we have this super fashionable woman who is strutting across the crosswalk in front of a yellow car, etc. So I specifically picked out images, photographs that would really lend themselves well to this type of an assignment where it's easy to color block. All right, so now that I've said that, I'm going to open up GIMP 2.1. Let it begin. Loading. Sure hope everything is working. All right, so I've opened up GIMP. Now I'm going to say File, Open. That's our base image. So I'm going to pick, which one? Should it be that one? I don't even see what it is, but it's the biggest file. So whatever it is, I'll go with this one. Convert. There we go. Cool. Happy about this. All right, so the first tool that I want to show you how to do is selection tool. Up here on the top, these are the top left. These are your tools. Go to the free select tool. Done. Make sure it's on the first mode. The first mode starts a new selection. The second mode adds to the current selection, which means that if you select once, then you can select again and keep selecting and add to your selection. The third mode subtracts from the current selection. We're going to keep it on the first mode, and we don't really want to feather the edges. Feathered edges gives it a soft, fuzzy fade, and we're not doing that. Now I'm just going to click, click, click. I'm clicking. Now, if you are a perfectionist, and then after you finish clicking and you hit enter, you have to hit return or enter so that your dots go from a solid white to a dotted black and white line. Now, if you're a perfectionist, you want to get that perfect outline, then you can hold Shift and plus to zoom in. But I did a really good job, except for down here on the right. So if I want to remove that, I go to third. And I'm going to click here. I'm in the third mode. And hit enter. So I just deselected that. So now it's more perfect. And I see I missed a little bit on that top right. So I'm going to add to the current selection. Hit enter. Perfect. That dress is perfectly selected. Now the thing about selecting is that no matter what you do, and I'm going to zoom out by hitting minus or subtract, the thing is whenever I edit things, whenever you edit things, whenever you use a tool, if you've made a selection, it will only work in that selection. So if I start painting, for instance, create a new layer so I'm not drawing on the actual photograph, but I can draw in front of the photograph. If I start painting, it should only work on the selection. And now that just removed my selection. I'm going to undo. There we go. All right. So now, opacity. Let's bring that up to 100. Make it visible. So now if I'm drawing, you'll notice that I can draw out of the line, but it doesn't actually show up out of the line. So I'm doodling, and I'm not going to do that first. That's just an explanation of how the selection works. Is I can draw here outside the selection and it doesn't work, but the second I draw inside the selection, it works. Now with that being said, I don't want these black lines, so I'm going to delete this layer. All of a sudden they are gone. And every time you have a layer, it's like a transparency on an overhead projector, that if I make a new layer by clicking that button down there, then I can draw or do something to this layer and I can turn it on and off or delete it or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to go back to my original layer with the original selection. The selection should show up any minute. There we go. Now I'm going to go into filters. Everybody understands filters because they're on all the phones and all the apps and stuff. So we're going to try to find, where's the one with the posterize? Let's see. I know you're in here. Show yourself. It's under the colors. All right, so if you go up to the colors, you have File, Edit, Select, View, Image, Layer, Colors, ding! Now scroll down to Posterize. Now it's going to automatically flatten these colors. You can reduce the amount of colors. 2 is the smallest, or you can increase the number. And the higher the number, the closer to reality it looks. But we're going for an artificial look, so we want the least number possible. So we have 2. If you want to compare that with reality, then you could do split view and you could see the difference. Turn that off, and I'm just going to click OK. I'm going to zoom out by tapping minus. So now we just turn this into very flat cartoon type appearance. Let's see, what else could we do? We could do the same thing with her shirt. Make that flat. So now I'm going to start a new selection. Brand new selection. I'm going to be on mode 1. I'm going to zoom into her shirt. Now I can click and drag. And that might be the way to get the smoothest selection. This might take you a little while, but that's okay. And then I have that one. Now I want to go to the second mode. You could also do this by holding shift, but let's just go to the second mode, which adds to the selection because we want to add this sleeve. Oh, escape. Here, I'm just going to drag it. Rather than clicking, drag it and hit enter. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing. Colors, posterize. Down to 2. It's just straight black. What happens if I do 3? It looks really noisy. That's what that fuzz is. So we're just going to go straight black. All right, so okay. Now, if you wanted, we could draw a pocket here, but I'm not going to. This is technically finished. How about I'm going to show you something really cool. I'm going to show you how to change some of the colors, or all the colors, in the dress. So I'm going to select none. That's how you get rid of the selection. All right, now I'm going to go into the dress, zoom in, and let's say that I want to select some of these yellows. So I'm going to use the magic wand tool up here on the top left, magic wand. It's the wand with the star on it. I want my threshold to be about 10. The higher the number, the more colors it's going to select. The lower the number, the less colors it's going to select. So I'm going to select the inside of some of these diamonds. Now I'm going to hold, it has the same first mode, second mode, or third mode. Let's do second mode. That way every time I select something, it's going to add to the selection, but I'm starting from nothing. So if you currently still have that shirt selected, you need to go to select, none, magic wand. You do add to the current selection, and let's go ahead and click inside some of these yellow diamonds. You could do it intentionally, or you could do it in a random pattern. It's up to you. Just drawing on our fashion designer ideas. I'm just clicking and my computer will catch up. There we go. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3. I have a bunch of selections. Now I'm going to go into colors, hue, saturation. Now, color, if you remember, is made up out of the hue, the value, and the intensity. The color can be changed just by dragging it, and you'll see that I'm changing the color in the picture. Now they're green. Now it's blue. I like that. Now the complementary color to yellow is purple, so I wonder if I can go purple. And I know I can, it's not an issue, but I need to go left. There's pink. A little further. There's purple. Now I want to make that purple lighter. There we go. That's light, soft purple. And then I could make it more muted by taking the saturation out. So it's a little less intense. There we go, kind of matching that background a bit. You can play with the colors however you want. I'm going to hit OK. But because I want to make sure those are all outlined, I'm going to make sure that the last thing I want to do is outline all these purples in black, because that's how it originally was. So I'm going to go, I have to have black there as my foreground color. Black needs to be there. If yours says white there, then click that arrow to make it black. Go Edit, Stroke Selection, maybe 1 or 2 pixels. 2 pixels is fine. That's how wide the line will be. And then hit Stroke. It'll catch up eventually. One of these days. Oh, I hope the app didn't just crash. By the way, if your app crashes, and it does happen because GIMP is free software, then realistically you have to just shut it down. We're going to ignore whatever that is. You just have to close out GIMP altogether and then reopen it. But fortunately, it didn't crash. My computer was just really slow. So make sure you're not running any other software. So the way to guarantee that is by clicking the apple, going to Force Quit, and anything else here like Microsoft Excel, enter, enter, quit that. Preview, enter, enter, quit that. I don't need error reporting. I just closed that on purpose. There we go. So now my computer has less to worry about. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go to Select None to get rid of those dotted lines. Minus, minus. Now I am finished. I have just digitally edited this clothing by making it flatter, more 2D, and changed some of the colors. So just by doing that, you have learned how to do some minor but professional digital editing. We're going to finish this up right now. File, export as. Remember, it's not saving out of GIMP. You have to export it. File, export as. I'm going to call this color block example 1. Save it to the desktop. And it's .jpg, so .jpeg. Export. Now watch how it always wants to give you a lower quality export. Man, my computer is really slow. See how it's trying to get to 90%? Never allow that. Always bump it up to 100%. And then click Export. You can tap Enter. If that screen is not working, you can just tap Enter, and it will export if your mouse clicker is not working with it. And now the thinking of death. Okay, so it finished. Yay! Now I can look at the color block example, and you're going to be uploading your color block example into Canvas. So that way we can all see. I would like to see what kind of cool colors you come up with. Remember, we're all going to have download different images. So what you do with yours will be different than what other people do. And I'm trying to see what kind of creative solutions that you can come up with. Good job. See you later.